Mark here. Y'all know how I do. I cook the books, give it a whole new meaning. I want to ask you guys a question real quick. If you ever think about it, like a lot of us want to change our statuses, right? Whether it's your tax bracket. If you change your tax bracket, that means you're making more money. Chances are you're in a higher social circle, financial circle. You want to change your job. You've been working a job for 10, 15 years, and you want to change that. But for some reason, you find it very difficult to make that change or that leap. What else? You're in a relationship that you feel is going nowhere fast. You want to change that, but you find it difficult to make that leap. Whatever the change may be, there's always some kind of barrier or something that prevents us from making these changes in our lives. And usually, there are changes for the better. I'm talking about changes for the better. Why is this, right? Is it because there's someone sabotaging you, some colleague at work setting booby traps for you so you can't climb the corporate ladder, or some, physical force out there that's stopping you or preventing you or putting landmines and booby traps in front of you? That could be very well true. But for the sake of this conversation, let's eliminate that. There is no physical element or person out there trying to sabotage you and ruin your life. But yet still, to make the leap or to make the change, we find it incredibly difficult. Why is that? Okay, that now we're going to get to the scientific explanation of why is that. There's something called inertia, or inertial frame of reference, a person's inertia. Inertia is built into our mass and our matter, and it is a part of our microscopic state. It is a force, and it is a resistive force. Inertial frame of reference is out of inertial frame of reference, Newton got his first laws of motion. And inertial frame of reference is a body that is in motion will stay in motion, and a body that is rest will stay at rest, except it is acted upon by some external greater force or an unbalancing force. And that inertial frame of reference, we each and everyone has their own inertial frame of reference. And that inertia is the reason, the scientific explanation behind why so many of us are stuck in the dead-end jobs, stuck in the dead-end relationships, partnerships, stuck in the below the poverty line, the medium, below the poverty medium. Many of us are stuck in the dilapidated neighborhoods. Many of us are stuck in just, whatever the situation or whatever our condition may be in, that we feel we're trapped in, want to get out, but somehow can't get out. Well, the reason for that, the scientific explanation is there is a force, and it's called inertia, right? And again, as I mentioned before, inertia is, again, it's the tendency for a body to stay in a certain position, whether that position is in motion, active or inactive, or stationary, for the body to remain stationary and not move. It's resistance to accelerate. Accelerate, we know that the standard definition of accelerate means to speed up, increase the velocity or rate of speed or whatever. But to accelerate can also mean, if you expand on its definition, can mean growth, progress, advancement, enhancements, achievement, agility. So inertia is a resistance to acceleration, and acceleration can mean progress, growth, development, advancement, enhancement. So if your life is not progressing, it's not improving, it's not enhancing, advancing, it's a result of inertia. And if we'll blame other things. Don't get me wrong. We'll blame people. We'll blame things, situations, circumstances. We'll blame everything. And that is the natural state, the natural response for the mind, to find something or someone to blame. But if we study science and we really understand how the universe operates, then we'll understand that it's no one. It's no one. Rather, it is scientific laws that govern the universe, and you and I are governed by these laws. So the first thing is to come into the knowledge of this information. When you come into the revelation and the epiphany, when you have the epiphany of this information, right then and there, you start to change your state. You start to change the forces of inertia. Because the thing is, inertia is built in. So you don't have to activate it. It's naturally activated. But what you can do is not deactivate, because you can't deactivate because it's natural. It's a natural force. What you can do is build up on it, right? If you understand it, then you can build up on it. You can use it to your benefit. And it's interesting because, again, once you come into this revelation and this overstanding, then you can start to actually see things for what they are, see what your real, you can recalibrate, right? You can recalibrate the situation and actually understand how now to change your status, right? You can understand what steps are needed to change your status. And again, I can't give you a particular, because everyone's status is different. Everyone's condition is unique to their present circumstance. So I can't, it's not a one size like this hat. It's not a one size fits all. But there is a ecumenical principle, meaning a universal principle. The principle is one size fits all, but the solution isn't. I'll say that again. The principle is one size fits all because it's ecumenical, meaning it's global, it's universal, it's the universe, it governs everything. So that's a one size, but the solution, on the other hand, is unique to your personal circumstance and or condition. But once you understand the universal principle of inertia, you won't become as despondent, you won't become as disdained, you won't become as bitter, you won't blame people, you won't blame things. You'll understand this is how the universe operates, this is how it works, right? So once you find that information, and I hope some of this information I'm sharing with you can kind of point you in the right direction, you can do your research and continue to build on what you've taken from this video. You can, like I said, you could build upon it, and you can understand that you can grow, right? You can change your state. Interestingly enough, the answer lies in science as well. How do you change your state? Like I said, it's unique to each of us, particular situations and or circumstances. But what I can suggest is this: take the wisdom, or take the principles of water, right? Water can be liquid, solid, or gas. And all three states, right? All three states have to be precipitated by what? Temperature, weather, their environment, right? If the ice is in the freezer, it's going to stay frozen as long as the temperature is below zero. If it goes into a warm climate, it's going to melt and go into liquid. If the climate that makes liquid possible all of a sudden becomes extremely hot, boiling temperature, that water is going to turn into what's called vapor, gas, float off into the universe or whatever, into the sky. So the one thing that precipitates the change of all three states is what? The environment, right? That's the easy short answer, the environment, right? So excuse me, if we want to figure out how we can change our states, we can learn from how water changed its states. And the way water changed its state is based off environment. So maybe we can figure out for our own particular unique conditions and or circumstances, how does the environment keep me in the position I'm in? Or does the environment progress or promote me, right, from the conditions I'm in? Is this environment conducive to me remaining in this environment, or does it facilitate me escaping this environment? So, and then you could obviously, again, unique to your own conditions, situations, and or circumstances. But then once you kind of recalibrate that, you can say, okay, you know what? You can make a logical deduction, right? You can deduce whether this environment helps you to promote you out of this situation, or captures and keeps you in the situation. And again, it's unique to you. So that, I guess there's a solution, right? There's a solution. Consider the environment, because the environment does affect how water, what state water remains in, right? Gas, liquid, or solid. So what state you remain in: poverty, health, wealth, poverty, wealth, health, wealth, poverty, whatever. Like, I mean, again, unique to you. So yeah, I guess that's the answer. There is a solution there, right? Consider your environment, and does this environment promote me or does it demote me, right? Till next time, y'all know what I'm going to be doing, cooking the books, bringing you the information. Hope this was helpful.